the way FM, and we have got a very good episode for you today. We are, of course, covering the Jedi of Season 2, Episode 5, The Jedi, which I just said. That's cool. We've got a lot of talk about. But I'm, of course, the Grandmaster, i.tye. Hello, welcome. But every Jedi needs a squad. And a very warm welcome back to the guy for Trent, the AI, Jarvis.
Hello.
Welcome back, Trent. Welcome back. I'll pass it off to the guy wearing the baby. The
Spoiler alert.
Grogu.
Alex, it's your turn to do your introductory thingy.
Okay.
That's-
Hey guys, pleasure to be back. If you've noticed, we haven't got Liam today, and that's because, and also because he's got uni work to do.
He's here in spirit.
He is here in spirit.
Guys, we're gonna get stuck into the Jedi. We've got so much to talk about, and there's like, where do we bloody start?
I think we start at the beginning.
So, last time, Bo-Katan told Mando to go to the planet of Corvus to find Ahsoka Tano. The beginning of the episode, you actually see Ahsoka quite quickly, to be fair. But anyways, Mando gets to the planet. He talks to the magistrate. She tells him to hunt Ahsoka to begin with. Obviously, he's there to look for her. He finds her, and a lot of stuff happens. You find out more information about the child. It's just a really cool episode, and at the end of it, Ahsoka tells Din to go to Typhon to go to this temple, and there the child can choose his own destiny. So, I mean, there's a lot of other stuff that we'll discuss, but yeah, I guess that's pretty much what happens in the episode.
It's quite a slow-paced episode.
What?
It's about an hour long.
Yeah.
Episode hold.
It's
Dave Filoni.
It's a slow-paced episode.
Dave Filoni, firstly, great fucking job. And you know what, Dave? Can we appreciate that? He wasn't a dick and just put her as a little cameo at the end. No, he gave us her fucking straight there. Have Ahsoka. It's like, yeah, get fucking to it. Just seeing with two lightsabers.
What better scene to introduce a past character or a new character to the people who haven't seen the Clone Wars than seeing Ahsoka just come in, kick some ass with two lightsabers, appear and disappear, go into the darkness. She cut a tree and then just segment of the tree and just throw it at someone.
I mean, I'm absolutely. If I do say so myself, I don't know if you both agree with me, but Rosario Dawson, I'm like, it fits. It just, yes, they could have not chosen a better actress. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Is this the first live action we've had of Ahsoka?
It is the first live action Ahsoka that we've got. Yeah. I wasn't sure on Rosario Dawson to begin with. When they announced her as Ahsoka, I was like, I don't see it. But when she was actually in the role, she played Ahsoka to a T.
Because she's almost like got Ahsoka's mannerisms, right? Like the way she speaks and stuff. It definitely felt like Ahsoka from the show. I mean, it was a bit jarring to begin with, because I think that's what was expected. We haven't seen her in live action before, but I think they did such a good job, and the makeup as well looked really good. It didn't look cheap or anything. Like, it was just really well done.
I think Mandalorian fans or Star Wars fans I think they're just happy to see lightsabers in a bloody Mandalorian episode. We stan.
It was nice to see lightsabers done right as well. Like they were actually cutting through people and not just leaving little scars and stuff.
Do you guys know the reason? I actually don't know why Ahsoka's obviously lightsabers are like white now. Do you guys know the reason by that? I don't know.
They're Inquisitor lightsabers. They purified them from being red. But it was nice. It was nice to see a a white lightsaber on like live action, because I don't think we've seen that yet. And the hums were really cool.
Out in the book, actually, there's like an Ahsoka novel where you find out she fought an Inquisitor, took his crystals, and then purified them, and that's why they're white.
There you go.
Slightly correct me. I don't know if you guys saw this, but maybe it was just me. Mando, remember the scene with obviously Grogu now, for those that don't know, and obviously Ahsoka's just telling him, just Grogu, take it. And then there was Mando and Grogu, and then Grogu just like took it, like the ball thing. I don't know, did Mando seem a little bit force sensitive? I don't know. Maybe a little. I was just like, Maybe a little. I was thinking no. And then I was like, potentially.
The Force is in everyone technically, but some people have it more than others, I suppose. But the Force is in like an all living beings, isn't it? So
Yeah.
maybe he has sense, perhaps, but I don't think he's Force sensitive like traditional.
I think it's more like because she sensed the bond between Mando and Grogu himself. Also, Mando knows that he loves the little gear shift ball. So when she was doing the rock, he had no interest in that. But when it's actually something that like caught his interest and that he like loves, that's where he's like, I want that. And you just see how quickly he goes. As soon as he sees it, he's like, oh!
I love it when Mando calls out Grogu and he just immediately looks up at him.
Yeah,
Grogu?
yeah, Grogu and I. Who's Grogu? It's like this. I also enjoyed like discovering like Grogu's like little backstory, that he was at the Jedi temple on Coruscant during the events of the Clone Wars, and he had many masters that had trained him, which sort of goes in hand now, because now we understand how he was able to lift the Mudhorn, and we thought he had no training. We also know how he knew the ability to force heal, because obviously some sort of master would have trained him. And then we also find out that a mysterious Jedi, or maybe not a Jedi, took him from the temple and hid him. I'm interested to see like who did that, and if he was on the Jedi Temple in Coruscant during the Clone Wars, that means that Ahsoka was there when Grogu was there. So why hadn't they bumped into each other unless he was in some sort of special advanced class, because he's like Yoda and Yaddle's race? I don't understand that, but personally,
I get that. He's probably like, I think we get the implication that Yoda's race is very attached to the Force. So maybe Yoda wanted to train him personally, perhaps.
could have done.
Separately from the other.
I'm just getting flashbacks of Revenge of the Sith, kind of like, remember the scene when like the kids just like, Master Skywalker, what are we gonna do? I just see Grogu just like, nope.
Nah.
Just yep, bye bye. But then, but would he be that old? Oh yeah, yes he would. Yes he
No,
would.
he's about the same age as Anakin.
Yeah, he's
As Anakin.
that's mad. Is Grogu older than Ahsoka?
Yeah.
Probably.
If he's about the same age as Anakin, and Anakin was Ahsoka's master, he's older than Ahsoka.
Is 50. Anakin is like 22 in Revenge of the Sith, I think, or 21.
Yeah, so Anakin's about 50 years old as well. Well, he would have been about 50 years old had he still been alive.
But can I just say, Pedro Pascal, you can't see the geezer's face, but I don't know, with the Mando mask on, you can kind of read what he's saying, what he's thinking.
You sort of feel his expressions in the way that his body language conveys his expressions a lot more than his face can. Obviously, because he's covered up in the mask.
How do you know?
At some point, he's going to have to like take his helmet off more, especially when he's seen like Bo-Katan do it and the other Mandos, like her Mandos, do it. And when you realise he's actually a part of like the
Death Watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be good character development for him, I think, when he starts to like especially if he like shows his face to Grogu, which I think will happen perhaps.
I liked in the previous episode, like we sort of got a subtle hint at his face because he lifted his mask up to drink when he's on his way to Navarro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had kind of one little bite at this particular episode, I don't know. I just felt when obviously Mando and Ahsoka said, "Yo, let's work together." That was a hype. That was like we were all there for it. But I don't know. It just seemed too. Guys, it just seemed too easy. It was just like, that's too.
Well, I
no
mean,
complaints, but it's just
Ahsoka just ran them
easy.
all down because Ahsoka would have done that anyway, and Mando just stood there and was like, back up, and like sort of helped the villagers who were enslaved by these people.
Being together is really cool, considering the history that they have.
Jedis and Mandalorian haven't really seen eye to eye for thousands and thousands of years.
Also, can I say that bit when she attacks Mando to begin with, and the lightsabers hit his gauntlet, and the Beskar blocks it? Like that was so cool.
I like how after she does the jump, frees herself, he's like, Ahsoka Tano, no, Ahsoka Tano, Bo-Katan sent me.
Two lightsabers, and yeah. Oh, and by the way, Dawson, you choreographed that perfectly. I don't know, your lightsaber skills are.
One gripe about the Ahsoka outfit that I say outfit, but appearance that I wasn't too much of a fan is that her montrals. Yeah, in Clone Wars, she was always seen to have like the shoulder length one, and then up in Rebels, she had like the really long spike on top, and then it went down to about hips, and then in this one, it's like back to about here.
That's for practical reasons, though, because imagine if you had like really long ones, it would get in the way. So I think they had to take some liberty.
It's like in the middle. It just felt like their horns, and I know they're hollow as well because they sense. They're like antennas. They can sense stuff through them. That's just a little gripe on her outfit, like attire sort of thing.
The spear thing.
The Beskar spear. Oh, the Beskar spear was awesome. Seeing the lightsaber battle with the Beskar spear and the lightsaber not being able to slice through it, and Ahsoka loses one of her lightsabers.
Overall, this episode, out of 10, we usually do that. What are you giving this to Jedi?
Definitely give it a solid 9. I think it's my favourite episode of the entire series so far. I mean, obviously we've got 4 more episodes to go. Well, a few more episodes to go. But this one's definitely the best one so far. I really enjoyed it.
Alex?
Again, yeah, I've got to agree with Trent. This episode was the best one so far. Like, as I said, it was a bit slow paced, but I sort of like that sort of pacing for TV shows and stuff. Seeing the familiar face of Ahsoka and her being played correctly was like a breath of fresh air. Another gripe that I have with Ahsoka is that she didn't do the thing, where she holds her lightsabers backwards. But I think that was more of a thing that she did as a Padawan. Overall, a really good episode. You felt the emotion of the villagers and the urgency of how they needed to get rid of the Empire woman. Seeing the Beskar steel spear and seeing that Mando accepted the quest, but didn't accept it, sort of thing. That was interesting to see character development on his part. And then at the end, when they're doing they're stood there and they're doing that cowboy western shoot-off thing. He's like, your team's won, and he puts the gun down. And then Mando just has quick reactions, bang, shoots him in the head, dead. And then there's a droid that we saw go up onto the roofs a little bit earlier. And he's like, it's him. And then, pew, straight away, dead. Seeing the reactions of Mando, that was also exhilarating to see. Finding out Grogu's name, finding out his backstory, finding out more about this character that we love so dearly as a community. Finding that information out, that was great. Finding out what the next part of this quest is also amazing. So I'm going to have to give this one a 9.8 out of 10. It's a very strong, solid episode. As I say, it's not perfect. It does have its parts that make me go, but overall, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was in shock and awe throughout the entire thing. There wasn't really a dull moment. So yeah, that's why I'm giving it a 9.8 out of 10.
Me, well, it does say a lot about a franchise when I thought one particular episode was better than three particular movies. Not to point fingers, but eh, but this episode was like Dave Filoni, you genius, you just like from start, it was just I don't know. I loved the lightsaber action. I love Dawson's portrayal as Ahsoka. I kind of liked that it was funny. It reminded me of a Western, and obviously, I think Star Wars is obviously kind of ideally based off a Western because, like, the whole kind of like both Tano and Mando have to kind of go and like save the people from this kind of like the admiral. I can't remember her name. Like, was it the magistrate? I think her name was something like that. But whatever, who the lady person with the spear. Then obviously they had that standoff, and knowing a bit about Baby Yoda, his developing
Grogu.
into his Grogu.
It's Grogu now.
Grogu, yeah. Baby Yoda at heart. Baby Yoda for life. But yeah,
Grogu.
Baby Yoda for life. But
Grogu.
I had a great time. This was I literally clapped when this episode finished. I was just like, oh, yes. And to a person who has not watched the Clone Wars much and doesn't really know much about Ahsoka Tano, I probably should get onto the Clone Wars because Alex and Trent have bullied me and said it's a very good season, so series in general. So yeah, I probably will do that. But overall, nice. My kind of first introduction. I knew of Ahsoka Tano, but this was sort of my kind of first introduction to her, and especially this was a live action version. So yeah, overall, Alex, what did you score it again?
A 9.8 out of 10. So I went really high with this episode. It's my favourite episode of the season so far.
I'll probably same with you. I'll probably match that 9.8 as well. I agree.
Trent, any final thoughts and stuff that you want to share about the episode before we...
Like, obviously the trailers for season 2 only showed the first 4 episodes, and we don't know what's going to happen the rest of the season, so that's very exciting. Obviously we'll probably end up seeing more stuff with Moff Gideon and what he's up to. Who's the Jedi's Grogu at the temple? Because, Ahsoka mentioned that to put Grogu on top of like a hill and he reaches out to the Force, a Jedi might find him. Like, who will that be? Will they be a Jedi that comes or a dark side user? Like, we don't know.
Also, what happened to that Jedi that took Grogu from the temple? Because when Mando found him, he was by no means anywhere near a Jedi.
Weak way, I think.
Weak way. And there's also one of those in season 2, episode 1 as well. Episode 2, sorry, when Mando's coming back with Boba's armor and he's on the speeder and they trip him over and he has to kill them all. Maybe he's the same gang and wanted revenge on Mando for what he did on that planet with Quella. Rip Quill.
Guys, that was a banging shout of a podcast. We, as you can tell from me and the boys, we really enjoyed the Jedi. We're so happy with kind of how the season's going, and we're happy that with how content is. So yeah, guys, we just want to say thanks very much for support on the channel. Thank you for liking, thank you for sharing, thank you for all that you do. And obviously, guys, remember to help us out so much more. If you like this video, do remember, smash that like button. If you want to keep up to date with all the boys and our Mandalorian series, then please do subscribe, hit the notification bell, and to keep up all the dates of what's going on with us and the boys, content-wise, whatever. Follow us on the socials. Okay, so on Instagram is This Is The Way YT, and at Twitter is This Is The Way FM1. And let's have a discussion with us in the comments. What did you like about the Jedi? Will we see Ahsoka again? Was this just like a first one-time season, or was she back? Will we have that nice little stand-up between her and Moff Gideon, the dark saber versus Ahsoka? That would be juicy.
Dark saber versus a white lightsaber. That. Ooh.
Trent, you know what we do at the end of this podcast.
As always, follow me on Instagram. It's Trent Jarvis 99, where I post lots of cool pictures because I'm a cool guy. Yeah, that's me. Anyway, Alex.
Follow me on YouTube. Well, subscribe to me on YouTube. Legend Alex, where I post gameplays and other videos very, very sparingly. Check out my Instagram. Follow me. Become my best friend. Yeah. Ty.
If you're a nostalgic bug like me, if you love a bit of nostalgia, if you love a bit of Ninja Turtles, if you love a bit of Power Rangers, if you love a bit of Ghostbusters, lost my train of thought there, then come on over to i.tye and subscribe. We're doing well. We're literally so close to 200 subs. So yeah, it'd be great if you come support us. And Instagram is i.tye, i._tie, and Twitter is i.tye11. So yeah, may the force be with you guys, and thank you. And yeah,
This is the way.
This is the way.
peace.